So we want to talk about the other large pump that we carry in the Type 1 trailer. There's two of them. We have BB4, which is the high pressure pump end. And of course, the B2X, which we saw earlier, was the volume pump end. 23 horsepower, 4-stroke motor. So the same as the other pump. We want to make sure that we're going to be checking the oil, crankcase oil, and that we're going to run straight fuel in this. The real big difference that we're dealing with right now is the 4-stage pump end is a high pressure pump end. It's going to be valuable to us to pump long distances to overcome friction loss, or if we have to pump uphill in order to overcome head loss. The volume pump is when we want to get a lot of water out in an area. Certainly that's the benefit of that pump. It's a lower pressure pump, but a higher volume pump. So again, same starting procedure as we saw in the last one. We'll roll through it. The difference with this setup here is we have the actual BC Wildfire setup. We're working off of dual fuel tanks, external fuel tanks, which are connected to the male mercury fitting here on the mounted on the pump. Again, to start the pump, we want to make sure that we've turned the ignition to the on position. A couple of twists of the throttle, bring the RPM up a little bit. We want to set our choke closest to the pump so the choke is on a cold pump. And we want to make sure that we're getting fuel just to the base of the filter here. We can see fuel in the fuel filter area, and then we're good to go. The engine running. Now we're just going to quickly cover off the priming procedure. Now, because we're dealing with the Mark III pump end, it's the same pump. You can take this off and put it on a Mark III. We're going to make sure that we wrench tighten our suction hose. We want to make sure that the suction foot valve is off of the bottom of the water source. We want to make sure that the priming port is wrench tight as well, so we don't get any air into the pump casing. We can prime the Mark III pump the same way we do the Mark III. We can actually, using the foot valve, to thrust into the water, fill up the suction hose into the pump casing, and then we can start off with our priming process. This pump does have an exhaust primer, so we'll utilize the primer if we need to in order to make sure that the pump casing is primed full of water and we're getting a discharge of water from the pump. So the pump ends are interchangeable. The B2X pump or the BB4 pump can be switched over from one motor head to the other. To disconnect, you want to make sure that we disconnect the suction line here from the exhaust primer and just release the pump clamp. Remove the pump end. Line up the pins inside the coupler. Oops, did I put that on wrong? pumps that we carry in the Type 1 trailers. Both of them have the 23 horsepower Briggs & Stratton motor that power the pump. And something to keep in mind, I don't think we mentioned before, is that when we're starting these pumps up, let them idle for about 2 minutes before you bring the throttle up on them. And when we're finished with them, let them cool down for about 2 minutes before we actually shut them down. Just allow that temperature to balance out in the engine block. The real difference in these pumps is in the pump ends. On the B2X pump, the volume pump, we've got a 3-inch intake suction, and we've got a 2.5-inch discharge. The pump at 100 psi is capable of about 215 gallons per minute. On the BB4, we've got the 4-stage pump end, and we have a 2-inch suction intake and a 1.5-inch discharge. The pump is capable of, at 100 psi, about 105 gallons per minute.